Hello everyone, welcome to your weekly Ascension reading. My name is Kelsey with Igniting Insight, and this reading is going to be a general look at the energies coming in for the week of July 22nd through the 28th. I did feel called to mention this week that we have Mercury retrograde. I'm sure most of you watching videos like this know that, but it's really kind of, as I was tuning into the energy that's going to be coming in this week, I was really feeling that Mercury retrograde. I just wanted to say a little bit about that. So Mercury retrograde is basically a time to reflect, to release, and reevaluate our lives, and especially when it comes to our mental space, our communications, and also the way that we exchange information. So it is definitely a time when we can have technology issues or communication issues, misunderstandings. People from our past can be coming back sometimes. And all of that is completely normal and completely okay. The best way to move through this energy is just to go with the flow, basically, and really take some time to reflect on where you've come over the last few months and maybe where you want to be going. But basically, Mercury is moving backwards through the zodiac, so it's giving us time to kind of reflect on the recent history of our lives where Mercury is retracing its step, so to speak. So I just felt called to say that, and I would not be surprised if some of that energy comes through this week. But if you're new to my channel, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. I am an intuitive tarot reader, an energy healer, a light worker. I'm also a singer-songwriter and producer, and I have some really exciting things in the works for that. I've been kind of getting some upgrades lately and some new gifts and new inspiration and new ideas, so I'm really excited to share these things with you in the near future. But I'm just trusting in divine timing for when it's right to release these things. So I do weekly Ascension readings. This is just general for all signs. I also read for divine counterparts. I do love readings for twin flame, soulmate, whatever resonates with you. I do those readings about once a week. And also, if you haven't already, follow me on Instagram at Igniting Insight. I do live readings for whoever is present about twice a week. So it's really valuable time. And if you're interested, I also give private readings. The information for that will be down below. I recently added a new service for a longer session. So if that interests you, please do check it out. So I'm going to go ahead and pull these cards. I have my own spread that I do for these weekly readings, and then once I've got my cards pulled, I'll let you guys come down and see the cards. Alright, so we have our spread. If you have been here before, you'll know that normally I just pull from the tarot for this, and then I get a couple oracle cards for guidance. But I really felt called to get some clarifiers from the Zen Osho Zen? I think it's Osho Zen Oracle. Always, if you have questions about what decks I'm using, I always list them down below in the description box. But this really helped clarify the reading, so I think that I'm going to be doing this probably every week from here on out. So we have here what to reflect on this week, what to take action on, what to release, what to call in, and a message from source. So really interesting energies, but I'm definitely feeling them. And so let's just go through this intuitively. So what to reflect on, we have balance, or the Two of Pentacles rather, which is the card of balance. It's the card of kind of doing a little bit of a juggling act. So it can indicate imbalance. So I would say for this, we're reflecting on the way that balance is showing up in our lives, the way that there is balance or a lack of balance in our lives, and specifically things in the physical. So some of us could be feeling like we're juggling a lot of activities or responsibilities, work and family, and just, anything that has to do with our physical day-to-day reality. It could be feeling like a lot of balancing or juggling within that. But we have the card of silence clarifying that, which is a very reflective card in and of itself. So it's definitely letting us know that it's best to take some quiet time this week in order to rebalance our lives and in order to get some clarity about what maybe can go and what maybe should stay, what we need to do more of and what maybe we could do less of as far as balancing things in our physical reality. So again, with the Mercury retrograde, I'm really getting this reflective energy. So just, if you have a meditation practice, make sure that that is activated this week. If you don't have a meditation practice, maybe it's time to start one, or at least just take some time to maybe journal or spend time out in nature, go for a long walk, and just really be intentional about the silence and the reflection. So take some time to yourself, by yourself, to do this. It's wonderful to be with other people where we can share our thoughts and have an exchange of ideas and reflect that way, but this is really letting me know to tell you to take time to yourself as well. And then what to take action on here, we have the moon, which is the card of emotions. The moon in astrology rules our emotions, our intuition, our inner world, and this card is also can be about illusions or some disillusionment. And what I'm getting is anything that is maybe feeling emotionally heavy to you, anything that's maybe been in the dark for you or feels like your darkness. And what I mean by that is your shadow side, right? So the parts of yourself that are harder to look at, this is really calling us to be intentional and take action on looking at those things and even also acting on some of our emotional impulses this week. I will clarify that message as we get through the reading because there's some other information here that wants to come through to give you more clarity on how to do that. But I would say emotionally expressing yourself is important this week. We have the card of flowering that is clarifying that, which to me just speaks of blossoming, of expanding, of really, when we say like flowering or blooming and we speak about ourselves, it's really about stepping into our power, stepping into our self-expression and really being that in the world. So that's why I'm saying with the moon card here with flowering, it's about emotional expression. So taking action on emotionally expressing yourself this week. And we are, I do feel called to say, moving right into Leo season now. So this is a great time to use any emotions, feelings, or intuitive insights that came through during Cancer season and express them now with Leo's energy, which is all about self-expression and creativity. So if you are an artist of any kind, a musician, however you creatively express yourself, I would say take action on that this week. Okay, and then we have here what to release this week. So we have the Four of Pentacles with exhaustion. So the Four of Pentacles is about holding on too tightly to things in our physical reality. This could be financial insecurity. This could be maybe even housing insecurity for some of us. Again, anything that resonates as being in your physical reality, it's about holding too tightly to something. And this can really hold us back, this kind of energy, because it's based in fear. And what I get to clarify here is exhaustion. So it drains our energy to have this sort of mindset, and it really does not serve us to hold too tightly to anything, because the truth is the universe always has our best interests at heart, and we will be provided for as long as we can flow with our lives and embrace our purpose. And I'm feeling called to say really step into our vision and purpose in service, especially. So what goes around comes back around. What you give out comes back to you. So if you have a mindset of scarcity and you're holding too tightly to things, you're going to get things in your life that will reinforce that mindset of scarcity. You will have financial insecurity, you will have housing insecurity, or whatever it is for you. If you can let go and release, then you can actually bring in the opposite vibration. You can bring in more abundance, you can bring in more energy, and really clear out some of this exhaustion, okay? And then for what to call in here, we got 2 tarot cards that came out together. We have the Hanged Man with the Lovers reverse. So what I'm getting here is waiting on love. And if you're called to watch the love reading this week, I would do that, because this is definitely alluding to that reading and what will be revealed in that reading a little bit. But if it's not love related for you, it's also about the Lover's card is also about inner integration. What I mean by that is balancing our masculine and feminine sides. And what I mean by that is not ignoring any part of ourselves, really embracing all parts of ourselves, learning how to balance our ability to be active and decisive and make decisions and be productive in our lives, with our ability to be intuitive and reflective and emotional in our lives. So we're not necessarily needing to spend equal amounts of time in these types of energies, but it's about being able to call on the energy that's needed in any given situation or at any given time. So with the Hanged Man, it's about waiting. It's about some stagnancy or just kind of hanging around and not moving so much. So, being that this is in the position where we're wanting to know what to call in, and with this clarifier of the Thunderbolt, I'm actually getting that this is the energy we've been in. We've been in a little bit of stagnancy, and we need to, or we get to call in some movement. And it might be more internal movement, which is what I'm getting here with the Hanged Man and the Lover's reverse. It could be internal movement towards self-love. It could be internal movement towards maybe making a decision about ending a relationship or moving away from a person or group of people that no longer serve you. So this is definitely one of those placements that can resonate in different ways for different people. But I'm definitely getting just a need to take a little bit of action in the realm of, being more, really giving, how do I want to say, putting yourself first is what I'm getting for this. Really taking action to put yourself first in some way and to stop hanging around and waiting on other people or waiting around in situations that don't really serve you. It's about putting yourself first. And then so the Tower, what we have here is the message from Source. And you see how these cards are so similar. So I'm really feeling that this is a strong message from Source about really needing something to fall away, to break away, and so that something new can come in. And I just wanted to point out the similarity between these cards. This Thunderbolt card clearly was inspired by the Rider-Waite Tower card because you see the figures falling. What I'm noticing is this meditative figure being the primary dominant energy and presence in this card. So I'm really getting the need to center ourselves despite what might be going on around us. And if there are some challenges or tower moments happening in your life, to really ground into yourself and put your own needs first. Okay, and then the clarifying message here for the direct message from Source is playfulness. So what I'm getting here is to really not necessarily take things too seriously in your life. If you are facing challenges, try to be lighthearted about it, because the truth is things really will work out for you. I mean, there's so much in my life that I've experienced that was challenging, and it all led me into the most beautiful place that I could possibly imagine, which I'm in right now. So I just want to encourage you to embrace anything that might be coming in for you, and to really just be in this state of flow while things can fall away, so that new and better things can come in for you. Okay, so let's get a couple of oracle cards for guidance. I'm gonna pull from the Wisdom of the Oracle deck first. So what can we get as guidance for moving forward wisely and productively over the week ahead? Okay, so we get time for a nap here. This is the 24 card. And again, this is just reinforcing that message of being reflective, taking some time, and really resting. A lot of us have busy lives, so it's hard to really find time to do things like take a nap. But just to give a personal example, I have a full-time job that really serves me right now, and I really enjoy it. And sometimes it can be tiring. So I take weekends to really relax and really rest. And although I make these videos on the weekends and I do some work, I try to give myself at least one day that's really mostly relaxing, and I often find myself taking a nap on those days. So there should be some time in your schedule, hopefully, where you can actually do this, or even if it's going to bed a little bit earlier and just being meditative if you're not sleeping, is really just, giving yourself the rest that you need. And I'm noticing here too with the gold colors, with the moon here, it's reflecting on our emotions, and also this is going to give us what we need to be in our power, to use our will to manifest what we want, which is what I'm getting here with the yellow solar plexus energy. Okay, so we're going to get a card now from the Sacred Geometry Activations Oracle. So what can we get for guidance for the week ahead? Okay, so we have the Divine Masculine 22 card. The frequency of Divine Masculine supports our strong, focused, and active side, allowing it to express itself while helping us to bring our dreams and ideas into form with kindness and wisdom. I hope I said those words correctly. So very interesting, kind of a little bit of a dichotomy, but it's just reminding me of the Two of Pentacles card here, where we're being called to really integrate. And again, also with the Lovers card reversed, it's inner integration time. So this has kind of been a long-term theme in my readings. If you've watched the previous weeks, you'll know. But this is telling me that there are ways that we can take action in the physical even during this Mercury retrograde time. And specifically it says, our Divine Masculine side is our active side, and it helps us realize our dreams and ideas into form with kindness and wisdom. So dreams, kindness, wisdom, those are all more feminine characteristics. I mean, wisdom can be both, really, but what it's saying is once we've taken the time to reflect and know what it is that we want and need in our lives, we get to take action in the physical with our masculine energy to actually manifest those things. So it's just a balancing act. It's totally, you need to have the balance, and like I said before, you need to be able to call on the necessary energies in the moment, whatever the situation or time calls for. When we work on both our masculine and feminine sides, then we can call on what's needed in the moment. So I really hope that's making sense and landing for you, because that is a really strong message that's wanting to come through. And here we have positive-minded people, 23. And this goes back to what I was saying about making sure that your tribe, your community is positive. It is lifting you up, not bringing you down. Clear out those old relationships and people that don't serve you, that don't, that don't resonate with you, that don't bring you up. It's so, so, so important. And there's really no point in wasting your time with people that don't help you raise your vibration, because you are not responsible for anyone else's life path. You are not responsible for anyone else's emotions. They are responsible for taking care of themselves, and if they can't do that and they're draining your energy by trying to get you to do it for them, they're not serving you. And you need to trust your wisdom and your connection to source to tell you, whether something's worth working on and whether something's worth walking away from. But definitely you could be walking away from some relationships this week, is what I'm getting. And with Mercury retrograde, a lot of people have been saying that it could be exes coming up. That's definitely true, because we have Mercury going retrograde back through Cancer, which is part of our relationships, rules part of our relationships. So if that's happening, you get to make a choice about whether you want to let that person back in or not. So this could be read as not necessarily removing people that are in your life currently, but setting boundaries around yourself if people are trying to come back in that aren't going to be able to bring positivity into your life. Okay, so I hope that reading was helpful. Thank you so much for watching again. Please do check out my private readings. I would love to work with you. I've priced them very affordably, and I really try to give personal intuitive insight, connecting to your higher self, connecting to source, and giving you the information and insight that you really need to take your life further on your ascension journey, on your personal journey, whatever you want help with. I'm here to be of service for you. Okay, so subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'd love to see you back here next week. Check out my other video for the love reading if that interests you, and I will see you next time. Namaste.